cut you at this moment. Okay, we need to have somebody else talking. This is a roundtable discussion. All right, thank you very much. We'll come back to you later. Okay, so Michelle, thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to answer the question which Sue has called. But first, I would remind that we are in a World Heritage Site. So the thread, the thread of the World Heritage Site is the OEV, and we have to respect the OEV. That's the first thing I want to remind. We are not in any kind of site.
Oh, I'm sorry, please, you need to switch it off. Thank you.
Okay. So that was a preliminary. But to answer your question, I will put the example of the Opération Grand Site, which you may know, in France, which are a bit similar to World Heritage on another scale, because it's on a national scale. We have a certain amount of sites which are supposed to be exceptional. And in this site, there is a special way of managing these sites and a special structure which has been put in the area of the site. Sometimes the site is very small, sometimes it's bigger, and it depends, the structure of the site depends on the geography of the site. But the main idea is to have all the stakeholders, not only the community, but all the stakeholders having together to say that first, what is the OUV, or the value of the site to their point of view. And so there is the national administration, which will give its point of view, a national point of view on the site, but there is also the representative of the people, which will give their point of view of the businessmen, the enterprises which work on the site, and of course the elected bodies, the towns, the town halls, the township, which are.
Michelle, does that work in your country, in France? Does it work in terms of
influencing
policy?
It works in these special sites. We have the Opération Grand Site, but it's the only place where we have done it. And we try to do it now in the new when we have a file of the for the World Heritage. We try to transfer this kind of governance to our new or future sites. Yeah, for the moment it works. It works, and but it has been put on it has been. We have experienced it for maybe 10 or 15 years, no more.
And who is coordinating, if I may ask? Who is making?
Well, the coordinator are usually the first the local authorities. That means either some region, if it's a region, is a department, if it's a department. The mayor is only if there is only one town, and but in a World Heritage, there is two co-presidents. One is the prefect representative of the national point of view, and the other is a representative of the local authorities. But first, we have to everybody has to be.
So we have some models of community development strategy, some influencing in France, influencing policy and decision making. That is quite a strong statement, whereas Agnieszka is telling us all that it's hidden and we have to find creative ways of involving communities, because there's a great layers of bureaucracy, and although they are consulted, let's come back here to Thailand, to Sukhothai, and to the World Heritage Site here. I'd really like to have views on, from your work over the last 2 days, how you think a community development strategy, if you were to have one, how would you pursue that?
I have Celia there and John Pujana who would like to speak. Good, Celia.
Just a question.
Yeah, sure.
Michelle, to give some example. Well, yeah, the
People last year who have been in France have been with us to Saguier Désert, but we have many other sites which are Opération Grand Site in France. And we have also some sites like, for instance, Champagne, which is a candidate for the World Heritage. And they have done the same. They have put on, and the Val de Loire, for instance, has also this kind of governance, multi-regional, because there are several regions and so on, with what we call this governance structure. But also this governance structure afterwards must be helped by a technical structure, which is paid by the governance structure. And that's important. And the other side, the other important thing is what was said, that it needs a lot of meeting and public meetings, and every day in a village, in the community, the people are going to explain, to definite together what is the value of the site, in order to have the same idea of the value of the site.
Thank you, Michelle. Celia, Ajahn Pujana and Lynn. Celia.
Listen?
Yeah.
Very small question, mostly to Western colleagues, but maybe something that we should not even discuss here. But do you think that we can apply the community concept to very big cities, like Western, our cities? Because I don't think that in my city we can have this approach, or maybe we can approach the districts or different communities, but not the meaning of communities is not clear, it's not existent there. Thank you.
Ajahn Pujana and then Lynn. Oh, Lynn, do you have a question as well?
I just want to reshape the conceptual script.
Okay, go ahead. Ajahn Pujana, wait a moment. Thank you.
Yes. It's very interesting to be hearing about planning systems and consultation mechanisms, but community development for me includes economic development, bringing economic benefit to the community, cultural development strategy, working with the community, and the consultation mechanisms are part of that. Community development is much wider than planning and consultation. That's really I just like to throw that in to help expand discussion. Thank you.
I would just say that it is the mean is not the objective.
Thank you.
Has anyone else got a contribution first?
Okay, thank you for let me send the message from the people who work with the community for over 20 years, and I can bring my contribution to this forum too. And thank you for people from abroad to caring and sharing experience. And this is we bring the management action now. I hope after this. For the sense of place, the sense of a part of World Heritage or a part of historical heritage. This is we need to encourage or empower the local communities to be a part of, and this is really a good start to make people thinking about how to maintain or manage the Sukhothai, Srisachanalai and Kamphaeng for welcome people who would like to learn about the history and way of living. Also, I agree with our friend from the Yogyakarta. That is mentioned about we have to start with the potential of our community. The community in my message is mean the single community, the community in Sukhothai and the community in Srisachanalai and Kamphaeng. And now this is area that we connect. We could not separate, otherwise we will got a problem about it. We not think in the holistic thing and we separately think to thinking about that. To be honest is to make the people to be a part of the historical, to be a part of the area. We have to engage them and involve them in the process of development. And how to make them to be a part. In the part they separate. The area is half a zone. And they are outside, they be the other. And now we need to invite them to be the owner, not the other. And to be the owner or to be a part of, we need to let them have experience of the place. And right now, like yesterday, the day before yesterday, when we went to the Srisachanalai, is one example of the community. They feel in the part they are out there, they are the others. After they got a chance, opportunity to be a part of the heritage site, and they create things like a local museum. And they recover their history. They're proud to present their way of living. They're proud to present about their festival. They're proud to present about the things related with the site. Okay, maybe the lack of education about the history, but some history in their memory, this is about something is maybe not related with the 1,000 years ago, but related with the continuity local history, and that is that empower. I'm happy to they're excited to present what they have, and the next step we should link the information in the past and the information that exists already and integrate together. And that is empower the local community to be a part of the historical area. And for that is we need to let them experience to be some activity or creative activity to let them have experience in the site and transfer to their community and how to make a link, and we need facilitator to facilitate. And I think is that the people who are here maybe can contribute some knowledge or consultation for them. But however, they have their own. For that, after we let they awake, I think they are already awake, but they don't know how to working together and how to make the people have a commit to work continually, and how to make the community participation in the proper way, and how to sharing information like communication between the community A, community B, and community network in the World Heritage Site. That is, we need facilitator, and also we need a communication system to sharing information. Also, to make it work, we need partnership. We need the people who have experience. In Sukhothai, we have a good module. For example, the organic farm. They have the good interpretation process and product and make the people appreciate. This is that the knowledge already exists in Sukhothai, but how to transfer this management or the process, how to vision the area and make it happen. And also we need to the people participation to take time to discuss planning together and take off their hat out. The problem in Thailand is that the people, they have their role and responsibility, they have authority, and they have a strap in the frame. And we need to take off their hat and working together, and it's a process to working together. And to prepare the Sukhothai, Sri Sachanara, and Kamphaeng to ready for welcome our guests, and we need process of preparation, planning preparation. And also the people come to this destination, they not want to do the same thing. I think the market segment or the design of the activity have to be variety. It depends on the school visit, what kind of activity or route it can be designed or developed with the education system for the students. And for the elder people who have I learned from the experience with the people who travel a lot. You have the idea, you have read a lot of books, you have the thing to prepare yourself before traveling, like the elder people. Then they need do something in depth. And they read a lot, they study a lot, but how to go in depth, need like the creative to design for the people who have been knowledge. And also for the women group or something, that this means that this area has potential in my point of view. I'm a Thai people, but I came here just only this is the second time in my life. It's 20 years ago I've been here, and now it's this time. I mean, this is my background, my organization. We work with the communities around the country, but we work with the single community, and right now we have a community network. But this area is a challenging to work with the community, make them have a network, and also have the civic group. Maybe not only the local community, not only the private sector, but it's also the people who living here to be a part of this area, how they can contribute to work for this area. Thank you.
That was absolutely fascinating. But you did ask us questions how we could help. Has anybody got any offers of help? Because I'm getting the impression everybody at this stage of the meeting, after the end of 3 days, wants action. How can we help with the capacity building? Have we any advice? Is that right? Marianne.
So how can we help? How could they eventually contribute to this debate as a university as a researcher? Maybe by reminding some ideas that seems important to me, and eventually add a layer of complexification to all the ideas we spoke about. We are speaking about community, and of course community is at the very center of all of this process of planning, of tourist development, etc., etc. But we are also speaking about World Heritage Sites, and this complicates things much, much more. So it is about community, but it's not just about community. Michelle spoke about this whole system of stakeholders, and this is important, but I think that if we forget tourists in this relationship, we are just passing through something really important. So this, the main idea for me in this World Heritage sites is not only to think about community, but to think how community can meet with this huge population, which is sometimes a touristic population, sometimes are visitors, sometimes are people just living there and passing through, or eventually second houses population, etc., etc. And I think that we should not forget that in most World Heritage sites, tourists are not only the consumers, but they are also the producers of this heritage. They are the co-producers of this social production of heritage. And sometimes they played a very important role in this social co-production of heritage. So let's think also how these communities could meet the world. Because if they don't meet the world, we should not speak about a World Heritage Center.
Russell.
Maria, thank you. I wanted just to add to what Maria's been saying, because I've been sitting here thinking about how could I make a contribution that brings us back to one of the key ideas for this particular part of the session, and that was interpretation. Firstly, I want to say that I find the word interpretation highly problematic, and that's because I think that heritage places enunciate, they announce themselves to the world, and therefore, in a sense, we are in a dialogic relationship as either community or as tourists with heritage places. We are having conversations with these places, and therefore I agree with Maria very much. It's about a co-creation of meaning. It's not just about somebody deciding meaning and transmitting it. It's about something that is called world making, and that everybody's perspective and everybody's interaction with heritage places is part of that process and needs to be respected and needs to be validated in some way, because this to me is the font of where there will be a transmission of heritage from one generation to another, depending on the sorts of stories we tell each other. So I see heritage places as storytelling places. And as a result, therefore, there are some obligations around that for me. Whose stories? Who is telling the stories? Who can tell the stories? Who is listening to the stories? These sorts of questions for me are quite important, but not overriding, because I think all storytelling, all dialogic or dialogues that occur and communications that occur within heritage places have a validity. Whether they are about the scientific, historical, archaeological, art historical, or whether they are about families enjoying a place together with friends, whatever. All of that is about some sort of communication with each other around the site that they happen to be engaged with.
I just wanted to add on to something that Kunpo Jana was talking about, benefiting from all of her experience in community development. You mentioned museums. And I just wanted to add to that, that I think we can expand the concept of museums to mini museums. Very, very small ones, many of them. I think if everyone in this room, from a capacity building standpoint, shared this idea with everybody we come into contact with in heritage conservation and in tourism, a mini museum might be 2 shelves in a guest house reception area. And it ties to what Russell is saying about storytelling. And I think there's so many benefits, because the process of creating either 2 shelves in a guest house reception or a room, a mini museum, the local community people are really engaging and really appreciating their own heritage. And especially, and then with international visitors where there may be a language barrier, the story is easier to tell with visuals. And I've just seen it in action. Some community-based tourism projects have been involved in, and just seeing small guest houses all over the world. It's an advantage that the community and the smallness, small hotels and small guest houses have an advantage over big hotels. It's that connection. And so I would just encourage all of us to spread that idea. It's a community development piece because it can be done at the community level. A village has a very small, not professionally curated museum. Because, when you say museum, we can think budget and, all the resources required, but my encouragement would be think small, think many museums.
Oh, sorry. There is a request from the next group. They said, don't forget about us. We are the local people listening to you. It is too academic. We don't understand. So the request that might be, you might shift our conversation a little bit, from the theory of community participatory to something more, about implementation or something that the local could act. If you have some examples they could understand, that'd be great. Okay. That's from the next group. We'll come back to Anisha, but I've got one more question from Lynn, please.
I have permission from the Philippine delegation to talk about the example at Vigan of community consultation and community education to bring that community into understanding the importance of the heritage, the world heritage to them and reconnecting it to help to make them proud of their place instead of the place being, the heritage just being a nuisance, so they become very proud of it. And that process took 25 years of long working with community to share information and education and to bring the local people into the management and interpretation of the site and to feel that they were part of that community. And I think that's a very good example, and it's a practical example of something with objectives that will take a long time. It's a pity Augusto Villalon is not here because he should speak to it, but I just wanted to raise that in this context.
Yeah, brief and straight to the point, please. Thank you. And then Jankushana and Ivan. Okay.
Thank you. I am trying to be about answers rather than questions thrown in the air, because I understand that community is franchised here, and also I perceive that there is a lack, there are heritage sites in the city or community, and they haven't taken ownership of this heritage site being part of them, and also that there are in a buffer zone or so-called buffer zone, there are some issues where the community may even be relocated because of the heritage issues or other issues. So those great examples which have worked, I am perceiving as being still resolved at the local authority level. And forget about my Australian experience, I would like to bring a Myanmar experience where the community is actively involved in facilitating tourism by homestays and, for example, villages involved in establishing trekking routes, cleaning them, maintaining them, about serving lunches under the trees in the private homesteads and so on. But someone has to help the community to do so. In my experience, it is a enlightened local authority who can do it. And Myanmar experience confirms it. So the big good ideas and strategies would come from universities and the national government, but at the implementation level is a local authority level.
Thank you very much, and Ajahn Pojana and then Ivan. Pojana, Ivan and Ahmed.
Okay, I'm not mentioned about it to encourage the local people to construct the museum. In my presentation is about how to make the people to be a part of the historical indifferently. But they have some example for the local community near Wat Taban, the Sri Satchanarayana. This is the local government to have a budget and okay, have the people who would like to initiate the museum. This is already in the process. 70% is nearly finished. But the other thing is after the local people to be a part of this, they can create the other activity or they can come together, not in private.